Shalom, shalom, everyone. I am your brother, YISRAEL, YESHOMBIYAH. Today we will be talking about a lot of interesting things that need to be talked about. Turn around a little bit here. So, today we'll be teaching about the commandments. I see a lot of brothers and sisters are unaware of the commandments, and that can mess with the counts of the books that was written. So Father is sending me unto you, for you all, brothers and sisters, to really digest this truth. And after that, we also will be discussing sex. Sex. S-E-X. That's right. So let's get into it. Let's give everyone a moment to pray in Yeshua's name. Shalom, 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 shalom. All right. So now here it is. There is many brothers and sisters still not having the commandments right. And that can leave blemishes and put you in front of the judgment seat of the Almighty Father, Yahuwah. So now here it is. Yeshua wants everyone to understand you are making an error because the devil is trying to distort your information by, here it is, the recitations of the written scrolls, which is called the Bible, Hebrew Bible. And it has now been contaminated and purposely to contaminate the people's mind mentally of only thinking of therefore there's only 10 commandments. Yah have 12 tribes, and these 12 commandments was also for the 12 tribes, not 10. So we also will get deep into this so you can understand. So get your books out, please. And I took notes ahead of time. And when we see here, this is the commandments in the order as in the scrolls, in the Hebrew scrolls. Shalom, shalom. So it says, number one, you shall not have other gods or deities, here it is, other than me, or serve of other than me. Number two, you shall not make for yourself or selves any idols, okay, of wood, of stone, or any likeness of anything of the heavens, like a star. You cannot wear stars on your clothes. So this is how we are identifying those who are really sent by Yah, but also giving the clarity for all the Israelites who are truly under the true covenant, which is I am as well, sent unto you, your brother YISRAEL YESHOMBIYAH, to help you understand the missing problem. So now as we see, no idols or likeness of any of things of the above or on the earth, which is of animals, which you stand on, or the form or from water beneath, like a fish. He says, don't do those idols. Don't make those idols. Because he says here, I want you to know you shall not make for yourself. And then he says also, which is of the heavens and the earth. Then he says also, Father says in 3, you shall not bow down before any of them or serve them, for I, your Almighty Father, your Yahuwah, am a righteous Yahuwah, a purified Yahuwah. Yes, I will inflict punishment on your ancestors wickedness on your children of those who hate me, and yes, down to the third and fourth generation. But I will be showing my love down on the righteous children of the 1,000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments, right? So we see here it is, this law is supposed to remain. And here it is, all the way down to every generation. Verse 4, you shall not invoke or disrespect my name. You cannot use Jesus on top of the Hebrew Bible. You can't use Lord, L-O-R-D, while you're teaching this Bible. You can't use God, G-O-D. There's many gods which are evil. And here it is. And therefore, he says, and make sure you don't change you from following my laws. Because here it is, that would be disrespect, which is Almighty, your Yah, not to be made in vain. So he says, don't disrespect my name, which means to be made in vain. So brothers and sisters, you have to stop saying that. You really do. Stop using it. Use Yah's name while you choosing. Take Lord out and put Yah. That's all you got to do. When you come to God, put Yah. And then you can use Lord Almighty. So you can therefore remove Lord and say, when you see the word Lord, say Almighty, Father, Yah, and then continue reading. So here you got to speed bump these pegging words, is what I'm saying. Number 5, you shall remember the Sabbath day and keep it righteous. Remember, for the 6th day you may work and do all your working. But remember, the 7th day, right, is a righteous Sabbath set for you by the Almighty, your Yah. So Yah is the Father, Yahshua is the Son, and when I say Yahweh, that means Savior, okay? Which was referring back to the mighty Son. Now verse 6, here it is, commandment 6 says, you shall not do any working or work either for you or your sons or daughters. Yes, male or female slaves too. Yes, also for your work animals. Here it is, if some people are farming, you should not put them to work. If you have any Gentiles who are working for you, you are not to put them to work. Yes, in 6 days the Almighty made the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that is in them. But on the 7th day, here it is, rested. Yes, that is why the Almighty has blessed the 7th day, right? And made this one righteous. Or here it is, above all, for us to remember and keep. Number 7, you shall honor your earth parents, for you shall have long lives in the earth that I have what? Created. Adam, Eve, garden, all right? And now earth. Yes, that I have given you to live upon for now. That's what he says. Be righteous upon it. So now here it is. That's commandment number 7. Now number 8, you should not kill. Number 9, you should not commit adultery. Okay, that means even looking at a woman with the intent of lust. Okay, because that leads blemish, and the Father Yah will put you in front of the judgment seat. You won't make it into the kingdom righteous. Okay, you'll be destroyed just because of that. So understand here, number 11, you shall not bear or tell any false witnessing against your neighbor or family member. So here it is, we cannot be conceited in the world. Okay, with anyone. Okay, now here it is, the final one, 12. And a lot of people thought 11 and 12 went together. No, the devil wanted you to believe that. So you only have 10. So 11 and 12 is bunched up, here it is, into where? Into verse 10, where it says you shall not steal. And then it'll say, and not bear or tell any false witnesses against your neighbor, which made it look like it was 2. They removed it. So now here it is. You can see it's 12. Verse 12 says, you shall not covenant. That means, see, here it is. If I have a brand new Rolex on, you feel me, or something, and here it is, or a high expensive something, and you want it too, or you get mad because I got it, then you want it. That's covenant. He says, do not desire your neighbor's house. That means you cannot say, oh, I like how they did their house, I'm going to do mine the same way. You cannot covet or desire your neighbor's wife. You cannot want to be with that man's wife. Husbands can't want to be with his wife. Wife can't want to be with her husband, right? That's the law. He says here, even his or her male or female slaves or members of his household, family members that's over visit, they can't be trying to, holler at your family members, trying to, with lust and all this. You feel me? So here it is. He says, my father says, yes, even thy ox or donkey, even dog or cat, or anything that belongs to your neighbors. So you see, it's 12 commandments, not 10, everyone. Request this from us. You can request all this information from us through our email, YahwehMentor@gmail.com. YAHWEN mentor, MENTOR @gmail.com. So please, for the Hebrew calendar, if you need a Hebrew calendar to know the actual days of the festivals, we can send that to you. We can get that to you. But first, you have to send an email, okay? And please hit the notification, everyone, so therefore you can know every time we drop a video, you can stay in tune to what we're saying or what we're talking about, what Yah is basically addressing to you. So now, let's get over to now talk about sex. No, I'm not talking about salt and pepper. I'm talking about the mental behavior of the whole humanity and the whole world, who therefore, when they hear this word sex, this has plagued a lot of Israelites. Women too, the most. Because remember, the devil talked to Eve first in the garden. Okay? And she brought all of that information back to who? Adam. So here it is. We got to realize that when we hear the word sex, we got to see if our spirit is right to how therefore we hear it and therefore view it. So what does sex mean in relationships, right? So today, your brother YISRAEL, YESHOMBIYAH, I'm going to try to break this down as clear as possible. Hope this help or benefit many people so we can see exactly how we can help many of our brothers and sisters out of the turmoil. Because here it is, this lead into man on man, woman on woman, people with animals and all kind of things, freaky deaky things. So here it is, my father wanted me to come and allow himself to allow you to understand you have to remove yourself from the world of sexism, because here it is contaminating because it's all over your flesh. So now, why do I feel like having sex every day? Many people might feel this way. You got nymphos out there that's actually requesting different people to come to their home to have sex, okay? And here it is. It's been going on for hundreds of years. So why is sex important, right? That's what you'll probably ask yourself. Why is sex important? Why do I think I have the need to have sex all the time? See, it's a lust demon, which therefore attaches itself to your flesh. Excuse me. And then therefore this sex demon end up influencing you into behaviors and cravings, you see, and then making you think that sex is important. But here it is, you're not understanding that it is a violation of the womb. And it's a violation of two getting together without marriage. So what does sex mean to you, right? Is it important for you? Many people are catching diseases, and, many people are being out there reckless with their sex. And, look, we don't have many athletes, done actually caught many viruses as well. And the standing member, as we know back in the day in the 80s, was Magic Johnson. So, to be a forerunner, coming to show people that this thing can happen to anybody. But here it is, Yah, as we're going to get deep in the Bible, it's going to show that this is why, here it is, sex has taken over the world in a crazy way, where here it is, the release of paganism on each other, the same sex. Here it is. And therefore, people are saying, well, still love, right? But here it is. Whose love is it? Is it Yahweh's love? Is it Yahuwah's love? Or here it is it your self-love? Because here it is, you must not been taught the right way to share your sex or your love. So now here it is. Here's some facts. When most people talking about sex, they think usually referring to sexual intercourse, right? Right? Or penetrative, or, penetration sex. But when it become now sexual in your mind or heart, will it be without actually having sex? See, y'all want you to start using your brain for the good of thinking than for the bad of thinking. Because when you start using it for the bad of thinking, such as in a sexual way, right? People actually think, here it is, kissing, touching, rubbing, stroking yourselves, or here it is, fingering yourselves, here it is, which are all things can make you feel good, right? We already know that, right? It can make you feel good. But now we must understand some, brothers and sisters. The devil have made you now idols, worshiping, right? Because we just read the 12, right? We just read these 12. And now here it is. We see that sex either refers on two main categories, right? Which are male and female, which people and other living things are divided on the basis of their reproductive functions, right? Which will be adults of both sexes, male or female. That's what Yah created. He created male and female, right? And which is the genre, here it is, of the person, sex, right? But here it is, the thing is, sex has snowballed into something else because we just seen that sex definition used to mean, here it is, it used to have categories, meaning of two. One set apart from, right? Male, female, right? But now we see both sexes coming together and not joining the other sex. So they have more lust for each other in their own gender. So when we hear the word sex, it is quickly thought of, or it comes to mind where many women and men, here it is, mostly the younger brothers, here it is, when you ask them, when you hear the word sex, what comes to mind? Some will say sexual intercourse. Some have told me making love, right? Some have told me sex acts, performing sex acts. Some have told me mating or dating game. Here it is. Some have said nookie or sexual relationships, bunking, some of the white girl. And here it is, the birds and the bees, the old people say. And number 9, seduce someone when you hear the word sex. And number 10, you know that, effing or banging. And then number 11, humping, screwing. Number 12, 13, service, which is sucking. And number 14, grinding. So here it is. The devil have all this going on in your flesh. Because he don't want you to understand that Yah wants you set apart from that. He wants you to break your neck or break your yoke of those bad things, right? Now we know in order to be set apart from these things, because we just realized the 12 commandments, right? There's 12, not 10. So we understand that the devil also played the game of being set apart. But here it is. He don't never want you to know the truth of your true identical set apart, which you're learning today here at Intelligent Voices Israelite from your brother YISRAEL YESHOMBIYAH. Now, when we turn to the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, watch this. When you get to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26, watch this. He says, you must be righteous. You must be set apart to me, right? Or for me. I am the Almighty Father. I am righteous. I have set you apart from the other nations to be my people. He's talking about Israelites, everybody. So here it is. The devil is also trying to set people apart from Yah by giving you half of the truth. Now you understand there's 12 commandments, not 10. They bunched them up at the end to fit their agenda. But here it is in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. Yah is claiming us to be set apart because it's those who have the real truth and the link to the truth. Here, therefore, have now acknowledged Yah for who he is in his word. And here it is in them, and they're set apart. I am, he says, righteous. I have set you apart from other nations, right? Now look at the book of Exodus chapter 26. Watch this, brothers and sisters. Watch this. And here in Exodus, look at verses 33 through 36. And here it says, hang the curtain from the hooks, as we see in the Ark of the Covenant. Place the Ark of the Covenant behind the curtain. The curtain will separate. There you go. Set apart the righteous room from the most high's room, right? Put the cover on the Ark of the Covenant in the most high's righteous room. The cover will be the place where sins is paid for, right? Right? And then he says to place the table outside the curtain on the north side of the righteous tent and put the lampstands across it on the south side. For the entrance to the tent, make a curtain out of blue, purple, and bright red yarn and finely twisted linen. Have a person who sews skillfully make it, right? But here it is. Yah is describing how to be set apart from the world, which is confused and is a liar, right? Because here it is. We just proved there's 12 commandments, right? And we just proved that when people hear the word sex, they immediately think of lust, which is in violation, which now have turned others into loving each other, right? Male on male, female on female, right? We see this all over it. The world is exploding with it, right? Which, here it is, if we are in love with Yah, the true Yah, then therefore your love is only for another one of opposite sex. So here it is telling us right here that even the Ark of the Covenant was set apart from Yah's most righteous room, right? Go to the book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 4. Watch this, my brothers and sisters. Education is good because here it is in 1 Genesis, verse 4. It says, Yah saw that the light was good. He separated or set apart the light from the darkness. There you go. Another example. Set apart. So now you got to realize that's why many have thought there was 10 commandments, but there's 12 because the devil wants you set apart from the truth. That's right. But your brother YISRAEL, YESHOMBIYAH here at Intelligent Voices will make sure you identify the real truth now. Let's go to Exodus chapter 14, verse 20. Watch this. Exodus 14, chapter 20. And what we see here in 14:20, thought it was there, sorry, y'all. We see here in verse 20, it clearly enlightened us. It came between the armies, here it is, underline that, of Egypt and of Israel. That seemed like set apart, right? Y'all remember this? And although the night And all through the night, the cloud brought darkness to one side, and here it is, light to the other side. Wow. The power of my Father. And here it is, and light to the other side. Neither army went near the other all night long. See the power of the light? But it's set apart. So here it is. This is in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 20, right? So now Yah says you must be set apart from all evil things, right? You must understand the commandments that I gave, right? That here it is. You must remember, here it is, who you are with. Because in verse 1 of the commandments, chapter, you shall not have other gods or deities other than me. So lust becomes your God. Sin becomes your God. That's breaking the law, right? So now when you see that, you must go to Psalms. Go to the book of Psalms, chapter 4. Watch this. Psalms chapter 4. Get me there. All right. Dang, paper. This my books. Got the paper book out, y'all, so it doesn't. It's one of the old editions of the scrolls. But here it is. We're going to the book of Psalms, chapter 4, right? And we're going to be looking at verse 3 and 4. My bad. Verse 3 and 4. Now remember that the Almighty has set us, or set his people, or his faithful people, apart for himself. The Almighty Father will hear me when I call out to him, right? Because here it is, you know which Father and only Father there is. When you are angry, here it is, do not sin. When you are in bed, look down deep inside you and be silent. So here it is, it said, don't be lustful in bed. Be silent, be humble, be righteous, right? Not with the opposite sex. I mean, with the same sex, but with the opposite sex, right? So now we are seeing this clearly. Look down deep inside yourself. Is this really right? No. But America is making it seem that way, right? Do as you will. Now go to Ezekiel. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28. And when we get to Ezekiel 28, we must look at verse 25, right? Pay attention clearly. In verse 25, the Almighty and King say, I will gather the people of Israel together from the nations where they have been scattered, right? And then it says here, I will show that I am righteous among them. I will let the nations see it. Then Israel, or the Israelites, will live in their own land. I gave it to my servant Jacob, right? Which is Israel. So now as we see in here, verse 26, and he says, my people will live there, right? Here it is. And my people will live there in safety. They will build houses. They will plant vineyards. They will live in safety. I will punish all of their neighbors who told lies, there we go, about them. Then Israel will know that I am the Almighty Father, their Yah. Right there in Ezekiel. So now we're seeing that now it's coming clear to you, brothers and sisters. This information is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, standing on a foundation of principles, right? That's given to us by Father Yah. So now here it is. No one can crack that foundation because our house is built on strong foundation, right? Because the possession have taken place of the temple, the body. Here it is. And we sacrifice this body, here it is, as our service to the Most High, right? So now when we look at here, Isaiah, go to the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and watch this. Watch this. Everybody got to change and get back to the real understanding of the law, because here it is, the closure is coming, and you don't want to get locked out, brothers and sisters. I'm seriously telling you this. Your friend, your brother, YISRAEL, YESHOMBIYAH. So here in chapter 14, 1 through 7, the Almighty Father will show tender love towards Israel or Israelite people. Here it is under the new covenant. Once again, he will choose Israelites. He'll scatter them in their own land. Outsiders will join them. Here it is. That's the 1/3. Okay. And they and the people of Israel will become one people right there, right? So that means that anyone without melon can come up and come back in if they actually get it right, taught to them how to come back in. So here at Intelligent Voices Israelite, this is what we're going to show you. So now as I continue here in verse 2, nations will help Israel, right? They won't be slaves. So brothers and sisters, quit telling people out there that they will be slaves to Israel, all right? Everybody be working as one nation, okay? Nations will help Israel return to their own land, right? People from other nations will belong to Israel. They will serve them as male and female servants in the house of, or in the land of Yah, right? So here it is. We are all serving the Father. They are serving us. We are serving them. How? Because they are getting what they didn't get all of, okay? Because they came in at the last minute, right? And many of them didn't believe, right? And this is around the time at the mark of the beast, okay? You must go to the Revelations and read your book to see what John was talking about. Who are these, okay? So now as I continue, the Israelites will make prisoners of those who had held them as prisoners. See that? They will rule over those who have crushed them. So this is why. But it won't be harshly. It will be in love, because that's what we read first, right? That's what Yah said. So don't think harshly. Like what our ancestors went through, that is what's going to happen to those who are needing to catch up to the foam from the soda. Okay? Number 3. The Almighty Father will put an end to Israel's suffering and trouble. They won't be slaves anymore, because we'll be priests, as we are now. They will make fun of the king of Babylon, and we already know the mystery Babylon. They will say, see how the one who crushed others has fallen. See that? Our war is with the entities of this earth. See how his anger has come to an end? The Almighty Father has taken away the authority of evil people. See that? He has broken the power of rulers. See this? When they became angry, they struck nations down. Their blows never stopped. In their anger, they brought nations under their control. They attacked them again and again, right? Verse 7. All of the lands now enjoy peace and rest. See, all of these wars that's going on, this is the beginning to the end. And you can watch our videos, and here it is. Catch up, everybody. Because we are talking about salvation and fixing the errors of your problem, so you can become citizens of the kingdom that is to come. So now here in verse 7, all of the lands now enjoy peace and rest. They break out into singing. Remember in Revelation, you see the palm trees, the people coming to praise Yah, my Father. So, as we see this now, this will bring us right into Jeremiah. And here in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, we're going to pay attention closely, brothers and sisters, to verse 2 through 6, chapter 10 of Jeremiah. And here it is, it clearly says, people of Israel, listen to what the Almighty Father is telling you. He says, do not follow the practices of other nations. Do not be terrified by warnings in the sky. Do not be afraid, even though the nations are terrified by them, right? And then he says, the practices of those nations are worthless. People cut a tree out of the forest. A skilled worker shapes the wood with a sharp tool. Others decorate it with silver and gold. They use a hammer to nail it to the floor. They want to keep it from falling down, right? The statue of their gods can't speak. They are like scarecrows in a field of melons. They have to be carried around, right? This is Jesus. Carried around, and here it is. And because they can't walk, so do not worship them. They cannot do you any harm, and they can't do you any good either. So here it is. This is Yeshua, right? And this is the law. So he says in verse 6, Almighty Father, no one is like you. You are great. You are mighty and powerful, King of the nations of Judah, right? Everyone should have respect for you. That's what people should give you among all of the wise people, right? All the wise people in the nation. No one can compare with you in all of their kingdoms. So now, brothers and sisters, why are y'all still using Jesus? And therefore, why are we hear the word sex and immediately think about literal sex? See, the conditioning of the spirit have to be fixed. It have to be perfect. Y'all, man. Because Yah says, I am perfect. I am. And therefore, you must be. So now as we go forward, go to the book of Matthew. Watch this. In chapter 25, verse 31-41. Chapter 25, 31-41. 31 says, the Son of Heaven will come in all his glory. That's right. All the angels will come with him. Then he will sit on his throne in the glory of heaven, right? All of the nations will be gathered in front of him. He will separate. There you go. Underline that. He will separate the people into two groups. He will be like a shepherd who separates the sheep from the goats. Underline that. What are you, brothers and sisters? Are you sheeps, full-blooded of Yeshua? Or are you goats, full-blooded of the devil? He will put the sheep to his right and the goats to his left, right? Then the king will speak to those on his right. He will say, my Father, that's right, my Father, has blessed you. Anyone that follows intelligent voices is blessed by my Father. And as you see here in this book, my Father has blessed you. Come and take what is yours, everyone. It is the kingdom prepared for you. That's right. Since the world was created, I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. The homeless, or whenever you was in need, or someone was in need. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you gave them to me. I was sick and you took care of me. I was in prison and you gave me love and came to visit me. Then the people who have done what is right will answer me, Father, here it is, they will ask, when did we see you hungry and feed you? When did we see you thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in? And when did we see you needing clothes and gave them to you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? The king will reply, my father. What I'm about to tell you is true. Anything you did for one of the least important of these brothers of mine, see that? Yah says, I'm in everyone. You did it for me because that was me. Verse 41, then he will say to those on his left, you cursed, go away from me into the fire that burns forever. That's right. It has been prepared for the devil and his angels. You see that? Because here it is. You got to understand the devil is trying to set you apart from the 12 commandments to do 10. The same sex, you're basically having no control of your body. That means your flesh runs your spirit, which is an opposite to what Yah designed. So here it is. The devil has now separated you from the truth. But Yah is telling you here, first theologian, that here it is, chapter 4, you must live in a way that is righteous. You must live with honor. Here it is. He says, don't long to commit sexual sins like those who don't know Yah. So those who do that don't know Yah. That's 1 Thessalonians. So 1 Thessalonians is allowing you, here it is, in chapter 4, to understand that Yah first made male and female to be together, not to be set apart, everyone. To be together, not set apart. So now when you see this in 1 Thessalonians, I said Thessalonians, right? You see verse 3 through 5. Now, this is allowing you to see why we must go to here now. My next notes. He said between woman and man, and here it is, he also said, therefore, here it is, he created woman and man, not to set them apart, but to bring them together. But here it is, when he brought them together, he also said that I'm going to give them rules. Here it is, for the man and the woman's life in a relationship. Let's go to Proverbs. Watch this. Proverbs chapter 5. Praise Yah. Proverbs chapter 5. And we're going to pay attention to 18 through 19. He says, may your fountains be blessed. May the wife you marry when you were young make you happy, right? And then he says, she is like a loving dove, a graceful deer. And he says, may her breast always satisfy you. May you always be captured by her love. So Yah is telling us right there, we are not to lust after other women. And women are not to try to entice us to lust after them, right? So here it is. Now we're talking about the sex part because we done got the 12 commandments out the way, which is therefore people saying 10, which now is, is 12. And now here it is, like I said, we're talking about the 12 commandments or the 10 commandments, which you didn't know, there's 12. And we're going to talk about sex. So for all of you who might just be tuning in, yes, we're now talking about sex. But here it is, how it is to be used in a relationship. Because may you always be captured by her love. That means here it is, you are supposed to be with the person only that is capturing your love, not just flirting, okay? Not just lust. It's got to be love, okay? So now as we see this, drop down in the same chapter, verse 20 and then verse 23. My son, here it is, why be captured by a woman who commits adultery? So he says, quit paying attention to those women out there that don't know me, don't know the specialty of their love that I have put in them, who is disrespecting me, right? So he says, here it is, do not. He's talking to sons. He's talking to men, boys to men. Why be captured by the woman who commits adultery? Why hug the wife of another man? Right there. So whenever somebody reached their hands out to shake your wife's hand, you didn't introduce that. That's a lust. That's a violation. Why hug the wife of another man? That's handshakes. That's a hug. Your hand hug around her hand, right? And then he says here, as we continue, the Almighty watches a man's ways. He studies all of his paths. A sinner, verse 22, is trapped by his own evil acts. He is held tight by the ropes of his sins, right? Verse 23, he will die because he refused to be corrected, right? His sins will capture him because he was very foolish. So now you understand why Yah never did set apart the two generals. I mean, he set them apart, but not to set them apart from each other. Okay? Man is for woman, woman is for man. But man is for woman. Okay? So now we understand we have to go now to the book of Genesis for that proof. Because now we understand women cannot want women and men cannot want men or lusting after animals, So here it is. We're going to see in verse 27 what Yah says in Genesis chapter 1. He says clearly, so Yah created man in his own likeness. Basically, not in my father's likeness, but in his mind, he formed the likeness of the person, okay, of what he wanted you to look like. He created him in his likeness or in his mind, okay? He created them as male and female, okay? Two different kinds, right? Two different kinds meant for each other. Two different kinds cannot love their own kind. Because then that says we won't come together, right? It splits you apart, so you be set apart. See that demonstration? So now, my brothers and sisters, it takes us now to Corinthians. Trying to speed here because I got time running out. But we're going to get it in, praise Yah. So now, 1 Corinthians chapter 6 clearly says and talks about sodomites. Now, many of you might be saying, what is sodomite? Who is a sodomite? That's those who actually give oral sex, anal sex, and here it is, hand sex, butt sex, and any other kind of form of sex. That's what sodomist is, sodomites. So now what Yeshua says here in chapter 6, verse 8, and here it is, 8 and 9, indeed, you yourself cheat and do wrong, and you do it to your brothers and sisters, right? Number 9, don't you know that evil people will not receive Yah's kingdom? There we go. Don't be fooled. Those who commit sexual sins. So as long as you a lesbian, as long as you gay, as long as you bisexual, here it is. Yah says, don't be fooled. Those who commit sexual sins will not receive the kingdom, my Father's kingdom that is coming. Neither will those who worship statues of gods, Jesus Christ, crucifixes, Buddha, rosary beads, Saint Mary, Saint James, whatever. Those who worship statues of gods or commit adultery, those who cheat on their wives, okay, wives that cheat on their husbands. Neither will men who are prostitutes. There you go. Neither prostitutes. or who commit, here it is, molestation, homosexual acts, will not inherit the kingdom. Because they are sodomites. Now, let's go to Leviticus chapter 18, my brothers and sisters. So the time is getting. So here it is, and I hope everyone is writing this down. Because here in 18, this talk about gay sex. 18:22 clearly says, do not have sex with a man, okay, as you will have sex with a woman. I hate that. It's clear. This is a command. So now here it is. That's gay sex, right? Now look at verse 13, chapter 20. See, these are laws. Verse 13 clearly says, suppose a man has sex with another man as he will have sex with a woman. I hate what they have done. They must be what? Put to death. Anything that happens to them will be their own fault. So Yah says here it is, if they catch disease, AIDS, whatever, that's their own fault. Because here it is, he prohibited. This is a command, right? So how could you have a friend that is a lesbian? How could you have a friend that is gay? It don't work. So here it is, we are seeing that in the scriptures. Go to Proverbs. You must be set apart from this. Proverbs chapter 6. And you're going to be looking at verse 32. A man who commits adultery, this is for all the married brothers out there, and here it is, has no sense. Anyone who does it destroys himself. You see that? If you don't stop, man, you're going to destroy yourself. Yeah, you might have did it once, twice, this and that. But eventually, if it becomes a addiction, you're going to destroy yourself. And if you die before you correct yourself, then it's going to be a strike on you, because here it is, you will be judged by this. Wow. Man. So this is just letting you understand. Now, as we go to Romans, go to the book of Romans, that this is what Yah wants. Chapter 1, Romans 26-27. Watch this. So as we see, we're going all through the Old and the New Testament books. So now here it is in 26. So Yah let them go. They were filled with shameful longings. Here it is. Their women committed sexual acts that were not normal or natural. In the same way, the men turned away from their natural love for women. They burned with sexual longing for each other. Men did shameful things with other men. They suffered in their bodies. See that? That's the flesh again. For all of the twisted things they did. So now we are seeing here, this is perversity we're talking about. Perverted minds of sickness. You, brothers and sisters, must be set apart. You must not be in agreement with being together with anyone that's in violation of this, right? Go to 1 Timothy. Here's sexual ideas. And we're going to look at 1 Timothy. Oh, that's Titus. A new book I'm working on in here, breaking in. So here it is, 1 Timothy, chapter 1 chapter 1, 10, 11. And what we see here. It is for those who commit adultery. You see that? 1 Timothy chapter 10. It is for those who commit adultery. It is for those who have a twisted view of sex. You see that? It is for people who buy and sell slaves. It is for liars, right? It is for those who give witness to things that aren't true. And it is for anything else that is opposite of the true teaching of Yahuwah. So now as we see this here in verse 11, true teaching agrees with the glorious good news of the blessed Yah. See, it have to be parallel, and it tells you the truth. And that is what I am doing here in Intelligent Voices Israelites, to allow our brothers and sisters to be able to be fed today with this correctness that is coming from the kingdom and Yah himself, to allow everyone the chance and opportunity to remove your blemishes, correct yourself, because here it is, nothing will be tolerated. Okay, so now that was speaking on the sexual ideas of a person, as you see. Now let's go to Jude, as we see examples here in the book of Jude. And I might have to go this way to find 12. So now in the book of Jude, stuck. I was holding it. So now look at verse 7, everybody. Your brother YISRAEL would like to take you to the book of Jude. Here it is. And look at verses 7 through 10. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And the towns around them also did evil things. They gave themselves over to sexual sins, right? We all remember that story. They committed sins of the worst, okay, possible kind. So when you see lesbians and gays, they are committing a crime of the worst crime, as Yah says. He says, here it is, they are an example of those who are punished with fire. That's right. The fire never goes out. You see this? In the very same way, those dreamers pollute their own bodies, right? They don't accept authority. They speak evil things against heavenly beings, right? But not even Michael did that, right? He was the leader of the angels. He argued with the devil about the body of Moses. But he didn't dare to speak evil things against the devil. Instead, he said, may the Almighty Father, my Yah, stop you, right? And then he says, but those people speak evil things against what they don't understand. They are like wild animals. They can't think for themselves. They do what comes normal or natural to them, right? Those are the very things that destroy them. So this is what your brother YISRAEL is teaching you today. How to set yourself apart and restore yourself under the correct guidance. Because here it is, you won't come to the kingdom and survive with 10 commandments. You must understand there's 12. So here it is, here at Intelligent Voices Israelite, we're giving you the immediate access to get your life back gained under the book of eternal life. Because here it is, we all know the history of Israel, but here it is, it's time for the fulfillment of Judah. So now that is why we are here. That's why I am here. Your brother YISRAEL YESHOMBIYAH, explaining to you this important series of lessons so you can understand, you can share this with others. And here it is, you might have a friend that's gay, you might have a friend that's lesbian, and here it is, you can share this information with them, and then now they can make a sound decision if they want to change their life back to normality. See that? So now let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, and we're going to look, here it is, for the married couple. Here it is, because you can't be giving head or eating out. So we already know what that is in sex. So now in 1 Corinthians, what do Yah, my Father, says? He says in chapter 7, verse 9, clearly, but if you can't control yourselves, right? But if you can't control yourselves, you should get married. That's right. Because your wife is meant to be used for that. Okay? That way you don't go out in lust, because that's breaking the commandments, right? And it says, it is better to get married than to burn with sexual desires. There you go. So most people are burning in hell who are gay or lesbian, but here it is. It's okay now, but it's not okay for my Father Yah either. or me. So here it is, as we address this here, this is for the married sex person to understand. This is why you got married. But here it is, you are not to be a sodomite, though. Because we've seen that in 1 Corinthians 6, 8 through 9. Okay? Y'all don't want that. He wants you to have sensual love with each other, creating for the purpose of human delivery. You see that? Of divine presence in the shell of flesh. Okay? So I hope I'm making this clear, because now as we see, the world created gay people. That's right. People say, no, I was born gay. No, you're a liar. Because we just showed that. People like that are liars. And now here it is, I'm finna show before I close, to show that the world created gay people with a sick mental mind. Because as we've seen, some are sick, mental, unbalanced. Okay? So let's go to the book of John, 1 John, everybody. First John and chapter 2, and we're going to pay attention to 15 and 16 and hear what my Father says. Do not love the world, that's right, or anything in it, right? If you love the world, love for the Father is not in you. See that? Because everything in the world, like I said earlier, is already been defiled. People have now been converted into sin. But here it is, everyone want to go to the kingdom that is to come. And here it is, it's also delusion and deceiving them own selves by thinking, by keeping Lord God and Jesus in their mouth. And here it is, not the spirit of Yeshua, and using his name, they are deceiving themselves. And those who are basically lusting for the same sex. So now he says here, do not love the world, right? Here is what people who belongs to this world do. They try to satisfy what their sinful nature want to do. That's right. They long for what their sinful eyes look at. That's right. They brag about what they have and what they do. All of this comes from the world. Okay? Who control the world? The devil. Demons. It doesn't come from the Almighty Father of creation. There you go. So now you understand gay people have been created. Okay? And that is the wrap for today here at Intelligent Voices. I appreciate everyone that had tuned it in to hear this message and to get corrected and to also spread the message to other friends and family. We thank you here at Intelligent Voices for tuning in and being a blessing as brothers and sisters, sharing our channel also with other brothers and sisters, because here it is, we're on one body, and that's a part of the Father and the Son who operates in us. So I thank you in Shalom, Shalom for everyone that